Now that's Huggie Pacino certified.
So for those that also want documentation or what they call metadata, I guess is what you call that, proof of record. As you can see, it says right there, the one that's got this right here moving. This is from my app that I use to record November the 13th, 2016, like I said. And when you press play on the file, New York City, right? That's what this is.
Said, well, somehow, somewhere.
Right?
Shit.
You can't change the dates of these. These are official dates, as you can see here. These are multiple dates of random things that I record all the way back to September. And that's one of them, okay? So I wanted to document this so to prove that this recording is not new. This is old. So I might have been the one to break this information being false to begin with. All right, I'm out. My name is Huggie Pacino. Most of y'all know me by that on YouTube. My government name can be found on my Facebook page, which is Kenneth Hart. So I hide from no one about this situation I'm about to present to you. What I'm about to present to you is a conversation between me and a guy, which I will remain nameless due to lawsuits that could factor into this presentation. As y'all know, recently there's been a story about Emmett Till, about the woman, the wife had said that she lied about what actually happened. Well, what I have here is a story being told completely different and pretty much opposite of who's what. So, like I said, this is a story being told. This is not my opinion. This is just me being told the story. It's not 100% true until proven true, but I'll give you a little bit in the description box. There will be a article written by US Today, and you can put the clues together. I'll give you names of the actual she and he's or whatever necessary, full detail, and everything that needs to be understood. You can do your own research, take it from where you want, and after the video, I will give you my opinion about and further elaborate on it.
MTs at the time. New York City, run a house, got my mama house, my dad and told them I hadn't got married. They told me I was lying. Showed them the marriage license, told me I gotta go make some money. I'll be back next week. I was gone 3 weeks. We didn't have no cell phone junk back then, man. Yeah,
I know. What year would that be?
Huh?
What year would that be?
67. 1967. Wasn't no cell phone ever.
Everybody didn't even have a telephone.
Everybody didn't even have a telephone.
You had a telephone, the rotary.
Yeah.
Yeah, the something.
And so I told my mom and daddy what I was trying to do. Daddy said, son, I respect. Bring your woman you brought your wife. Then I got back. I rented a house from J.D. Marks. J.D. Marks' house for a year. Went to with some guys that I knew been playing in different bands, man. We hooked up and reorganized, and they went to Wisconsin and found some jobs and things, and then they invited me to come. I went up there and went to work for L. Smith, where all of them were. We leave and come back whenever we got ready. And That's why I retired from A.O. Smith in Milwaukee, hauling them frames and things from cars. They need to make the car frames in Wisconsin. Transformed to Detroit and down where Detroit, Michigan. See, Detroit, Michigan. Chrysler was doing theirs in Trebek, Canada. So
Which is all in like a trifecta, like
we had to
Canada.
do that. We decided to stop playing.
I got a question. Back then, did you need a passport to go to Canada?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I didn't know.
Yes, sir. You wouldn't tend to go across that border without a transport dot.
How many niggas got into some bullshit like robberies and then try to go across that border?
Most of white boys then. Man, nigga was scared to look at a gun. I'm white for it. Man, see, it was so many prejudices back in them days, man. You could get by Chicago, Minnesota.
Speaking of Chicago, you know the thing I learned about Emmett Till?
What?
It's an important detail that nobody talks about, right? Is that I'm not saying that I'm making an excuse for what happened to him.
Right.
But what happened to him, did you know it could have been prevented if somebody told him?
No, he couldn't have. Him and used to work for the same folk on the same plantation. Well, see, what happened there, we were working for the hauling groceries for the same grocery store. We had bicycle, go up to the grocery store. O'Malley and Bryant, they were the one that killed him, okay? Go to the grocery store. O'Malley would tell Emmett, and they go and buy. Matter of fact, tractors wasn't even in existence then. He went and bought and get some parts up in Greenwood. His old wife told Emmett, she made Emmett get on they was throwing on the meat block, man. They used to have a block thing, big old round tree stump sitting in the middle of the floor called a chopping block.
Yeah.
She get on that block and she tell me, you go outside and clean that area over there and cut those bushes right there. And I go out back through the other side, boy. Emmett be wearing out, boy. She be grunting and honey.
So it ain't nothing. You know. Okay, so it wasn't like they trying to make it seem.
No.
He already was.
She was making him screw her.
Exactly.
Unknown to her husband.
Which is what I teach people, dog. Is like in most cases you got where black men are so the desire in situations like that. I mean, want them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They want us. You know what I'm saying?
It never been but two free people in the whole world. There was a white man and a black woman.
I'm glad you did. That's fact. Yeah. Cause look, I was saying that slavery. I said even in slave times, even if the women got raped and they went through their little situation,
they didn't get raped. They was
So in most cases, even when you see how the psychological thing that does to them is that they see a man with power. This is why they desire to be like white women, because they want white men to be desire them.
Our culture custom is we are strong. A black man is a strong, desirable man. Man, you know, like he's built different from a white man. Okay, there's no comparison to the build up until the white man found out in the latter years, in the early, well, I would say in the late 80s and the early 90s. The white man found out how to build his body so he could look like something. If you think about it, was a black man.
Banner. Couldn't have been a white man. Like if you really look at the comic book, yeah.
So now, what was happening then when she told Bryant's wife what she was doing, then she messed around and started having sex with him. Then when the other woman found out that she was doing it, and they got mad, okay? True fact. They argued over the situation, okay?
Right.
And O'Malley got hold to what was going on. He had another black man. I think the man's name was Tommy, cause we were sharecroppers, okay? We sharecropped on his plantation, meaning that we was working his farm, live in his house, and we were scrubbing our living for his effort of giving us some work to do. Okay?
Right.
So, Mr. Tommy went to Emmett's granddaddy's house. He the one carried the boy to the white folk for the white folk to kill.
Right.
Okay?
And this was after he found out he fucked his wife, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right after he fucked they wife.
They wife. Yeah.
He screwed both of them.
So this had nothing to do with the whistle.
Huh?
This had nothing to do with
No,
whistle.
that's what they accused him of. Instead of saying he screwed them up, they were making him screw them. They couldn't tell the truth. Okay, the truth was they said
Because the truth would have
back
been
then-
the truth would have been a real fucked
back
up
then
reason.
you couldn't
But then that's kind of it's
you
both.
couldn't whistle at people.
But it's worse to just say you killed them over a whistle. It'd be better if you said you fucked your wife.
Listen, man.
How
They weren't worried about better. Okay, all they wanted to do was
now what I'm saying is saying that he whistled is kind of a even silly reason.
Of
What-
course,
it makes more sense to say that he.
everything that people do as far as that is concerned.
Yeah.
But my problem is when they went and got that man and told him to go down there and get him and bring him back up there to where they were, he knew. He had to know. My dad used to talk about that all the time. Mr. Tommy had to know that them folks was gonna kill that boy. He had to know.
Well, he had to hide it. Yeah, like he ain't know.
He went and got him, carried him to him.
And Tommy was what, black or white?
He black.
Damn.
Okay.
Sent out.
Now-
That's what they call it. What they call that?
See, and that's the same way. I don't care who you look at. You can look at Megs. You can look at Margaret Atwood. You can look at Martin Luther King. I don't care who you look at. A black man was the cause of the white man to kill the black man. Think about it.
Cause they said with
They would do
when
it
they
with
said-
snitch.
when they said about Malcolm, they was like, oh well, the CIA. I said, well, somehow, some way, the white man plays the
The
fucking
white
middleman.
man paid
Yeah.
that middleman to wipe that man out.
Cause it's rare that a dude just say, okay, I'm gonna be the black man, just actually go do it, or the white man just actually go do it.
Think about
Without the
today's
help of-
time. Okay, how many airplanes can a poor nigga like us buy? Okay, now who
Oh, a poor
flying?
man buying a
Who
plane?
flying
It
the
makes
dope?
sense.
Who flying the dope from Mexico and Colombia?
The white people.
Right.
You
And they
ever seen
feeding it.
Cocaine Cowboys? The documentary? You ever seen that?
Yeah.
And who them people were that was moving the dough from the port of
But
Miami?
then when you look at it, they gonna tell you it's Mexican. They gonna tell you that it's the Arabian. They gonna name everybody else. The white man ain't gonna put him in there nowhere.
Right.
Crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, because I say it's bigger than the government. It's kind of like when I listen to that story, how they just said, man, we could just bring in just 100 bricks a day. I'll be like, really? And it was like, when you think about it, it's like we just gonna open the job and just say y'all can have all the cookies.
Man.
Then y'all expand the city, because look at what Miami has turned into. Look how beautiful it looks. Man, that's drug money built that whole city.
The whole city. Shoot.
I got so one question about the Emmett Till situation. Did his mama know all that?
See, Emmett would come down to Menor City, Mississippi, every
What's
summer.
Menor City? What's that? Is that a city?
That's a town in Mississippi. Yeah.
Okay, Menor City.
Yeah, Menor City, Mississippi. A 3 highway there, down in the Delta. It's about 125, 150 miles from here.
Right.
But he would come down to stay with his granddaddy every summer, work in the field. Eat watermelon, man. We used to steal old white man watermelon, man, bust and take the hard. A white man thought the hog was eating watermelon, man.
Oh man,
We,
do pigs eat the watermelon?
yeah, man.
I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
I
man.
thought pigs just only eat bullshit.
No, sir, man. Hogs eat corn, watermelon.
I knew they eat corn. I didn't know they ate just crack
Yeah.
fruits over it. I didn't know they fuck with fruits.
Man, a hog would destroy a watermelon patch, dog. Man,
So like, what do? They like just chew? They
Yeah.
eat the fucking. They,
yeah.
Damn.
They bought that watermelon?
Now I gotta, you know, cause we in the internet information area. I gotta look up some pig eating a watermelon. I gotta find that video.
Yes,
'Cause I didn't know
sir.
that exists.
Hogs eat watermelon. What we call slop. Then when you get bones and water and sour stuff and put it all together.
Cause
mash
my
and stuff.
family grew up in the, you know, Marianna, Arkansas, it was country.
Oh,
So
really?
my grandma,
Matter of fact,
mom,
I
and
got-
dad said they used to just feed the pig in the summer. You know,
Oh, really?
wintertime.
I'm finna go to
Chop his
Marianna.
ass up.
I'm going to Marianna weekend in January. I gotta go there. I'm gonna play at Marianna. I still play, man. I play all over.
What you play?
I play bass and lead guitar. Yes, sir. I'm finna get out of here, Doc. Go home to the old lady.
Well, I'll see you Monday, right?
Hey, man.
Tuesday or Monday?
Tuesday.
All right, the article. I'm going to have to read this to y'all. Widow of Emmett Till killer dies quietly, notoriously. Whatever Juanita Milam knew about the 1955 murders of the Chicago teen may have died with her. All right, as you can see, the publisher of this was Jackson, Mississippi, Clarence Ledger, 431, I'm sorry. February 27, 2014. All right, here we go. This is what I want you to see. The death of the 86-year-old Mississippi woman barely made headlines last week. The brief obituary of Juanita ran in the Biloxi, Mississippi Sunday Sun Herald. But few noticed her passing despite her being the widow of a killer in one of the nation's most notorious crimes, okay? On August 20th, 1955, Emmett Till, a 14-year-old black youth from Chicago, arrived in Money, Mississippi by train along with his cousin, 16-year-old Wheeler Parker Jr. They had accompanied Till's great-uncle and Parker's grandfather, Moses Wright, who was returning home to the Mississippi Delta after a brief trip up north. See, what people got to understand is most people from up north, they have different laws up north. In the South, you have certain things like such as the Jim Crow laws and everything. So a few things were different when you came down here. So the way they handle things up north were slightly different than the southern areas, especially where I'm from. All right, so 4 days later, Emmett, several cousins, and a few neighbor kids drove into town to the Bryant Grocery and Meat Market, where 21-year-old Carol Bryant was working behind the counter. Till entered the store and purchased bubble gum. When he left, Carolyn followed him to the door. A northerner, unfamiliar with southern etiquette, all right? He then waved, said goodbye, not goodbye, ma'am, and according to the family members, directed a wolf whistle at the young white woman. She became upset and went toward her car to get a gun. According to trial testimony, Till and his frightened companions got in their own car and sped off toward home. 3 days later, at around 2 a.m., the woman's husband, Roy Bryant, and his half-brother, J.W. Milam, forced their way into the Wright home, grabbed Till out of the bed at gunpoint, took him away. 3 days later, Till, beaten, swollen, and decomposing body surfaced in the Tallahatchie River and was discovered by a young fisherman. He had been weighed down with 75 pounds of cotton gin fan. All right, now, I will read the rest of this. If y'all want to read the rest of the article, you can. But this the key important thing here I want to show y'all. Till says Chicago murder. All right, here we go. All right. Milam and Brian were arrested just after the abduction went on. Trial for murder. And September 19, 1955, an all-white jury acquitted him 5 days later. The Till murders remains one of the most brutal in American history, and the trial verdict is considered one of the nation's greatest injustices. Two women especially intrigued visitors at the trial: Mamie Bradley, the mother of the victim, and Carol Bryant, a former high school beauty queen working at the store. A third woman, 27-year-old Juanita Milam, was a less conspicuous part of the proceedings. She was the wife of J.W. Milam, and as she watched her husband in trial and sat on the stand as one of the characters, key witness, she clearly wanted to be anywhere but in the courtroom. Clark, I guess you say that's this Portis of Memphis Press Scimitar, so I hope I said that correct, said that Juanita appeared shocked by the proceedings, and he described her as a sad-faced woman. like Carol and Juanita, Juanita said next to nothing publicly in 6 decades after the trial. Okay? Whatever secrets Juanita Milam harbored all those years regarding the role of her husband, brother-in-law, and anyone else involved will probably never be known. Juanita died quietly on January 14th in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, her home for the last several years, okay? And then it tells you the story of her life. The Till murder would change their lives forever. Less than a month after the verdict, journalist William Bradford Huey offered to pay the brothers $31.50 for their story, knowing that double jeopardy prevented them from being tried again. They weaved a tale of kidnapping and murder, yet they were careful enough to not indict any accomplices. The story, which appeared in January 24th of 1956 issues of Look magazine, contained gross inaccuracies. Nevertheless, the article captivated readers all over the nation. So this is the issue. Juanita knew. So what did Juanita know? She was married to JW. So maybe the story I just played for you on a witness account of a person that actually was there. And there's no 100% fact to that. But you gotta wonder, what was those secrets? Now, as you finish this, in my opinion about the whole story, what I really believe is I believe that story. Even as I was being told the story, I wasn't really gathering my thoughts clearly. Once you do the research of what you already know, you will see that Milam, the guy, J.W. Milam, had a wife that you rarely hear about. And in that article, you'll see that she died back in 2014. That particular individual is the woman that had sex with Emmett Till, according to what I believe. So pretty much, I think that's where it started. I think that particular woman told Brian's wife, Caroline, and she also had sex with Emmett too, according to this story. This is my opinion about what I believe to have happened. Both of them men found out about it. They killed Emmett, and the rest is history, and nobody's been convicted of the charge. It's a very brutal murder. I think nobody should ever have to deal with this, and I'm sharing this for the purpose of, I actually meant to share it before what you have now, which hit the fan, that she's saying it never even happened and she lied about it. This particular story is being told not because of that. I was going to share this anyway. Even as a record, I put a teaser of the conversation on my channel, and I was just kind of shocked that all of a sudden it's hit the fan that she lied, like after that video. Not saying it was because of that video, but I just thought it was kind of weird. Like, ironically, we were talking about this back in November, and then I decided to put it up, but I've been holding on to it for a while. So yeah, she did lie about the whistle thing, but she should tell the rest of the story if this is true. And being that she's the last one alive, she should. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel by hitting the red subscribe button and then hitting the notification bell. If you have problems receiving notifications, make sure you unsubscribe and then hit the resubscribe button and hit the bell again. Below you have playlists of many things from the past, such as the What's the Business series, the POF Experience series, and the Memory Lane series as well as past Vision playlists. Also, there's 2 new channels to subscribe to. My son's gaming channel for Life Gaming, and make sure you keep up with everything dealing with Huggie Pacino. This is Huggie Pacino for the Huggie Pacino Effect. Thank you for your support. And if you wish to donate,
right, we going. What a money reside, what a money reside, what a money reside, what a money reside.
Now that's Huggie Pacino certified.